Hello class, this is Miss P and welcome to week 2. Week 2 is all about informal contractions, and this is where we're going to have a lot of fun with the way native speakers talk. And to begin with though, we're going to look at contractions. So my objective today is to help you to become familiar with how to pronounce contractions and what makes a contraction sound the same, which is called a homophone, or if it's different, where it's commonly confused. So I'm going to take you to your screen for a minute, and we're going to take a look at this list today. So let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, and so I'll always start by going to your desktop to what you see. And so when you log on to Canvas, this is your home page. And I have minimized week 1. Here's week 1. Hopefully you've gone through all of week 1. And now we are moving to week 2. So week 2, this first section here is for is what we're going to talk about now. This first contraction pronunciation assignment. And if you click on this, it's going to give you a list. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So, and then you will be asked to take a little quiz. And you need to do that because that counts. Remember, assignments will not affect your grade, but the quizzes will. Okay, so let's take a look at the sheet that I'm asking you to look at. So what are contractions? Well, contractions are shorter forms of the combinations of a pronoun plus a verb. For example, I am becomes I'm, or it is becomes it's. Okay, so it's always a verb, or it could be a verb plus a verb. Would have becomes would have. Okay. Sometimes it's the verb plus not. And so, for example, is not becomes isn't. Or maybe it's a question word plus a verb, like what is, what's. Okay, so these are all examples now, and as we see, we always use an apostrophe where we remove the letter in our contraction. Okay, so a lot of times my students they'll see a contraction, but they still want to say the words like have not. And there is a problem with that, because in English, contractions are, they're very informal the way we use them. But if you say the full, like I will not do something, or I won't do something, or I cannot, or I can't, when you use it, I cannot, it has a much more negative effect. So it affects the meanings if you say it completely without using a contraction. It's much more formal. Sometimes it's much more harsh. Okay, so contractions are very natural in our speech as native speakers. And we're going to take a look at some of the differences in contractions. So looking at our list here, this table is going to cover be, have, and will. Okay, not verbs like should or can right here. Okay, and so this is where I want you, and you can use this when you take your quiz, but I want you to notice we have the verb be, and then we have the long form, how we would say it. Okay, and then we have it as a contraction. And you'll notice that we always put an apostrophe where we remove a letter. Okay, so I am becomes I'm. Okay, and the pronunciation here, I'm, is still one syllable. Now, if we move down to like is not, isn't, it becomes 2 syllables. And let's just refresh. What is a syllable? Well, a syllable is any vowel sound that we say each time we have a vowel sound. And you can understand this by putting your hand underneath your chin. Isn't. And every time your chin drops, that is a vowel sound. Okay, so that's a syllable, 1, 2. All right, now then we have some other words that go with you are, your, okay? But we have other words that sound exactly the same, okay? And they're called homophones. That means they have the same pronunciation. So you are sounds like your. That is your bag, not you are going somewhere, okay? Homo means same. Phone is a small sound, okay? So it means it has the same pronunciation. So we have to be really careful. If you recall, they are becomes their. They're going to the beach this weekend. Or that is their car. Not they are going to the beach, it's their car. Or look over there, the place. So it's important to understand that sometimes we have contractions that there's another word that sounds exactly like it, and that's a homophone. So sometimes we can get confused, like I'm going to the store might sound like am going to the store, like I need to aim for something. So these are common words that we confuse if we don't pronounce them very distinctly, okay? You are, your, some people hear jaw, your, jaw, okay? Now, many times they also rhyme with other words. What does rhyming mean? It means they sound the same. They have the same sound. They end the same way. They're pronounced basically the same way. So I'm rhymes with dime. I'm dime. We have the d at the beginning, but it sounds the same. So important to look at. These are just some of the different meanings. So I want you to take a look at this list of words. And then if you would, I want you to go back and take your quiz pronunciation. And next, then we'll move on to our informal contractions. So I'll post another video in just a minute, and we'll talk about our informal contractions there. I'll see you in a bit.